Was good, sexies? So, it's your boy here, back for some more Fire Emblem Heroes, and today we're going to go ahead and do a little video talking about A Hero Rises 2022. So, voting is actually live. You can vote for characters right now if you wanted to. And what we're going to do today is I'm going to give you guys my breakdown on the top 5 characters that I think are worth getting a vote from people. Of course, it's all subjective. I can't tell you actually how to vote, but just keep in mind, at the end of this event, everyone is going to get a free unit on the house, and we are basically the ones picking which unit that's going to be. So it would be a little courteous of you to vote for a character not named Reese that is going to help everybody out. So just do yourself a solid and do everyone else a solid and vote for something good. Now, what criteria I'm looking for in characters is that they're useful in a multitude of modes in the game. We are actually going to be talking about Summoner Duels S a little bit because that was announced today in the notifications. And just judging by the way it looks like that mode is going to work, that did actually have a little bit of influence on some of the characters that I decided to pick here. Also, we are going to be taking a look at whether or not the character was sparkable. Fey Pass sparking is a thing, but not everybody has the Fey Pass, myself included. So if we could not spark for a unit, and I think they're really good, then that definitely helped their chances of making it onto my top 5. So let's go ahead and start by taking a look at a honorable mention. There she is right there. So Saint Elamine, the most recently released unit before this Voting Gauntlet started. Or not Voting Gauntlet, but Hero Rises started. So, there's not really too much to say about her. She is very good as a support unit, and she's probably the best Astra Mythic hero overall. So, what she does is she can inflict False Start with her weapon, and False Start is damn near the best status effect in the entire game. It just shuts down like every meta level unit. Everything has a start of turn effect, and if you can shut that down, then you basically just gave them the middle finger. So, False Start is very wildly, absurdly powerful. Only problem is, I'm not really a fan of the way that she inflicts it. She has to be in cardinal directions of the foe, and she also has to beat them on a res check. Not always going to be ideal, because she's a mythic hero, so even though her res is really good, she can't get access to blessings. So, they could just res stack their units with blessings, and they're going to have a lot of stats that are unaccounted for that Elamine is not going to be able to match. So it can be difficult at times to do this, but I think for the most part, you should be able to beat them on the res check and inflict False Start. And this is why Catria is in shambles at the moment. Bride Catria was so disgusting before this, and now she's not going to be as disgusting. So, yeah, I can definitely get the hype around Elamine. She's also a crazy supporter with defense and res up 6 to allies in 2 spaces. That is a blue bonus, so it's similar to Fortify Armor, Fortify Cavalry, and so on. And then on top of that, she also has Holy Ground in the C slot, which is going to grant allies in 2 spaces 30% damage reduction, as well as a passive defense and res up 4. As if the damage reduction wasn't good enough. So people are always also calling her like the power creep version of Flayn. I don't know if I'd go that far though, because Flayn has the damage reduction on her weapon, so she is free to run anything she wants in the C slot, such as the recovery skills, odd and even recovery. And unfortunately, Elamine can't run the recovery skills, so that is just like a minor nitpick on her part. She also has Far Trace 3 attack and speed, which is a very good fodder skill. And she has attack and res push 4, again a pretty good fodder skill for your other units. She has Nudge, which has only been available on the Duo Hilda up until this point. I actually really like these healing assists that come with a movement assist as well. So Return, Rescue, and Nudge are all very good. And then, of course, her weapon. We already talked about her weapon. But the reason why Elamine is only a honorable mention for me and not actually in my top 5 is because of this right here. So in Summoner Duels, if False Start is inflicted at the same time any start of turn effects trigger for the opponent, those effects will still trigger. with the exception of skills that restore HP or deal damage. So things that restore HP, like Odd and Even Recovery, also Renewal and Air's Sparkling Boost, all of those things will still recover HP. And things that deal damage, stuff like Duma's Upheaval and I guess Serger's weapon as well, Sinmara, things like those will still be able to deal their damage. But Summoner Duels seems like it's transitioning into the next main mode, and it's probably going to overtake Aether Raids very much in the near future. They just announced Summoner Duels S, and from the way it looks, you're really going to have to stack your teams for Summoner Duels S, because you can't just get away with having one team anymore. So multiple good units in Summoner Duels is definitely going to help you out, and unfortunately for Elamine, she does nothing in that mode. So I can't really give too much value to this unit when she is useless in what is probably going to be the biggest mode moving forward. Alright, so my actual top 5, our first unit on the list is going to be Pirate Serger. Probably the most controversial pick that I have here, but bear with me guys, I'm going to explain myself really well. So Serger, as far as his fodder skills go, he's actually nearly completely devoid of any good fodder, sadly. He has Defense and Res Ideal 4, which is kind of like bad. I don't really think you want this on anybody. He has Crafty Fighter 3, and he has Surtur's Portent 2. Or, I don't know why I said 2 there, but Surtur's Portent, which is a unique passive C skill for him. And all you have to work with for fodder here is Crafty Fighter 3 and Defense and Res Ideal 4. Neither of which skill well, Crafty Fighter, I guess, is pretty good, but I don't really think there's too much value here in terms of fodder. Surtur's Portent is actually a pretty cool passive skill. It's essentially just a souped-up version of a Menace skill. If he's in 4 spaces of a foe, then on all of the nearest foes within 4 spaces, he inflicts all stats -5 on them, and then he's going to gain all stats up 5 to himself. So the only real issue with this is that it's in the C slot, and you're going to be running this guy with a near save skill. He is, in my opinion, the best near save armor unit in the entire game. That's because he has the exact same weapon as Gustav verbatim, does all the exact same effects, -1 special trigger, attack and defense -6 on the foe, and then if the foe can do a follow-up attack on him, he gets 75% damage reduction on the first attack. So, he's basically just Gustav except blue. And the reason why that makes him better is because he's got color advantage on 2 of the most ridiculous melee units in the game. Those being Legendary Sigurd and Brave Alm after his refine. So, having the color advantage on them, whereas Gustav has color disadvantage on them, is what gives Serger the edge and makes him the best near save armored unit. So, if you're running a near save unit, then I would say this is probably the best pick. We do have some other good options for free-to-play, like, for example, Arden. Arden is really good now that you can get merges on him from the Grail shop, and the way that they built Arden was not taking into account for save skills being a thing. So, his stat line is like, he's got 1 billion HP. He has, like, the highest base HP in the game, and then he's all attack and defense, with speed and res being complete dump stats. So, yeah, Arden's stat distribution is wild for a near save unit. But, of course, Serger having that perf weapon, I think, gives him a massive edge. 75% damage reduction on the foe's first attack is just so good. Especially when most of the time they're not going to be making any other attacks besides the first. He counterattacks with a bonfire to the face if you have any way to get special ramping on him. Like with the Steady Breath Sacred Seal, or Brave Lucina for support, or Duo Hilda for support. There's a lot of ways you can get special ramping on this guy. And once he has that, it's just over. Most melee units are not even going to be able to touch him. So that's my... I guess we're not really going in order of best to worst here, but I would say this is number 5. Okay, so moving on to number 4, we have Ascended Fiorn. Now, Fiorn has actually been sparkable in the past for all players. Her original banner was not spark-locked to Fey Pass, which is actually the case with Serger. His original banner was also not sparkable, even if you had the Fey Pass back then, because They were not doing sparking for Fey Pass at the time, so no one's been able to spark for Serger yet. Though people have been able to spark for Fiorn, like I said, and she is actually available on Elamine's banner right now as a sparkable unit, but you gotta have the Fey Pass to do it, so I don't know if I would put too much value onto that. Regardless, just like how we just said the Pirate Serger is the best near save unit in the game, I would say easily this Fiorn is the best far save unit in the game. And the reason why that is because of her weapon combined with Ice Mirror. This is such a devastating combo. So Niffle's Bite has -1 special trigger combined with Ice Mirror that has 2-hit cooldown, by the way. So she can counterattack regardless of range. Built-in distant counter, already very good for a far save unit. And if she's in 2 spaces of an ally, she gets 7 HP back after combat. And if the foe uses a ranged weapon, then she neutralizes effects that prevents her counterattacks during combat. So what this means is she has Null Sea Disrupt against ranged enemies. And that's really freaking good because armored units do not have access to Null Sea Disrupt, making this Fiorn the only one that can counterattack Dazzling Staff and Fire Sweep Bow and all those like stupid effects that can deal damage to you without having to worry about getting counter hit. And then on Ice Mirror, she has 30% damage reduction on the foe's attacks. And she also, if they attack from range, it's only damage reduction against ranged attacks, by the way. So this Fiorn is like so overtuned against ranged enemies that she's actually pretty weak in the melee matchup. A lot of melee units can just run right through her. But that's not what we got to worry about because she is a far save unit, and that is exactly the role that she excels at. So she also gains bonus damage based on the amount of damage she reduced with her 30% on Ice Mirror. So her next attack usually hits really hard and is enough to KO the foe. But regardless, Ice Mirror being a 2-hit special with -1 special trigger and having Null Sea Disrupt and Distant Counter built into her weapon, it's really hard to argue any far save unit being better than her. Except maybe Brave Hector, but that guy is just dumb. Okay, so she also comes with Steady Posture 3, Hardy Fighter 3, and then AR Far Save 3. All very good fodder skills. Maybe Steady Posture is not the best, but still pretty good. Hardy Fighter is like the creme de la creme right now. You are going to need multiple copies of Hardy Fighter for the new Summoner Duels S mode, where they announced that you got to have 5 different teams, and then your opponent can choose to veto some of those teams, so you're not going to be able to actually use them. So let's say you had a team with the Ascended Fiorn on it, and the opponent just vetoes that team. Well, if you're running far saves, then you better have another copy of Hardy Fighter on one of your other armored units then, because otherwise you're at the mercy of all those brave, or Winter Elizithias and Ninja Corins and Yuris and all those ridiculous ranged units that can just run right past you. So Hardy Fighter is going to be very valuable fodder, like more valuable than I ever would have imagined before this. So very good stuff here. Like I said, we were only able to spark for Fiorn one time before the Fey Pass sparking, and a lot of people don't even have Fey Pass, like me, for example. So I would love to get another copy of Fiorn and give Hardy Fighter to some of my other units. She's also really good for merges, too. This Fiorn is just good at everything. She has a 190 BST overall, so she's good in Arena if you get her to +10. It's just a win for everyone if she manages to make it into the final round, so very good stuff. Okay, at number 3, we have the Ninja Corin. Again, this is a character that has not been sparkable for anybody, Fey Pass or otherwise, because when her banner came out, there was no sparking with Fey Pass. So, a very powerful unit. She's like Ninja Lin and Reinhardt just merged into one, which is just as dumb as it can get. She has the best duo skill in the game, which is Ninja Lin's second action. Very powerful. She has a brave attacking weapon with freaking true damage on it, which is just dumb. So it gives her the ninja weapon effect where she gets speed up 4 and inflicts defensive res -4 to herself. She gets the brave attack, of course, and then also if her speed is better than the foe's speed, she gets true damage based on 70% of the difference. So, fancy way of saying if she has 10 more speed, she does 7 true damage per attack. And true damage, like I said, on a brave attacking weapon is just dummy good. She also has good fodder. She's got attacking speed push 4. She's got SR far trace 3 and then joint drive attack. Just like insane amounts of fodder. Attacking speed push 4, I would say, is still probably the best ace skill for attacking speed. It's just the most consistent. So, yeah, not much else to say. Corin is stupid and a very good unit. She also got buffed too with the release of the Hatari Azura, who's like her best friend. So, when you're able to get refreshed for a second action from the harmonic skill of what I would say is the best dancer in the game right now, things are looking pretty good for you as an offensive unit. So Ninja Corin, definitely a good choice for this Hero Rises event. Alright, next up, for number 2, we have the Winter Elizithia. Now, this character was actually sparkable for everybody. Her Winter Banner, or I guess Christmas Banner, did have 3 sparks, and everybody could do them, whether you had the Fate Pass or not. So I do think some people were able to walk away with this character. But in that same regard, she's just so dumb that it's like, it's actually worth it to get multiple copies of her. So her weapon is the most overpowered player phase weapon in the game. First of all, it's a brave weapon that has 14 might and -1 special trigger and attack and speed up 6. Like, come on, man. That is just unfair levels of power right there. There is no other player phase weapon that's even close to this. And so the way that she gets her brave attack, she has to have more speed than the foe. If it's 9 or less, then she gets a follow-up attack before the foe can counterattack, which is just desperation. But if she has 10 or more speed than the foe, she gets a brave attack there. So no matter how you slice this, she is going to hit the foes twice in a row, and there's not really much you can do to stop that. She has blitzing amount of speeds there. 44 with the Super Boon, and then with Ascended Fruits, or not Ascended Fruits, Ascended Traits, you can give her plus attack and plus speed, which she has double Super Boons in. As far as fodder goes, she's got Swift Sparrow 3. She has AR Far Trace 3 and Colorless Feud 3, which low-key is actually getting to be a lot better fodder than it was when she came out. So with Elamine, Duo Hilda, Flane, and all these other really popular support units for save balls with being colorless, she can just shut them down completely. Inflict all stats -4 on colorless foes when she fights them. It's just nuts, man. This unit is crazy. I don't know what they were thinking with her. She's just way too powerful on the player phase. So definitely a good unit to get another copy of. Also, she is a harmonized hero. So if you go for the merge, then you know what that means. You actually score a little bit higher in resonant battles, which can be helpful to other players, I would say. So definitely a good unit to go for the vote. And last but not least, we have the New Year Dagger and Knot combo. So this unit was actually sparkable with the Fate Pass, and I was able to spark them on the same exact day that my Fate Pass expired. Literally moments after I walked out of the summons, my Fate Pass expired. So I got them right on the last second that I could have. But dude, this unit is just stupid, especially in player duels where their duo skill is like one of the dumbest duo skills ever in that mode. So you get all stats up 6 to them and all your characters in 5 rows and 5 columns. Such a wide target radius. You might as well just say all allies on the team get all stats up 6. And then freaking Pathfinder. Like, come on, dude. Pathfinder on everybody? That is so unfair, especially the way that it combos with Kanto. So let's say you had a unit like Yuri. Yuri, of course, has Kanto 2 built into his weapon. But the way that Kanto interacts with Pathfinder, you might as well just say Yuri has like Kanto 7 or whatever. Because you could just line up all your units behind Yuri, make a complete lane for him to just attack, and then come back and run away from the enemies like a coward. Hit and run is just so dumb with Pathfinder and Kanto, so I gotta give this unit credit where credit is due. As if that wasn't enough, they also have Pathfinder built into their freaking weapon. So, yeah, it's just Pathfinder for everyone. It's like freaking Oprah Winfrey giving everyone, you get Pathfinder, you get Pathfinder, you all get Pathfinder. So, yeah, this unit is cracked. They have -1 special trigger. They inflict attack, speed, and defense -5 on the foe, as well as further penalties on the foe based on their bonuses to attack, speed, and defense independently. So, with their duo skill, they're getting all stats up 6. That's just another -6 to attack, speed, and defense on the foe when they do that. They have Luna as the special. They got attack and speed push 4, Sun Twin Wing, and then attack and defense rain 3. So pretty good fodder. Like I said, attack and speed push 4 is still really good. And then attack and defense rain is just good for your flying units. Especially Ashnard. He would really love to get that. So yeah, I think we've covered this unit in depth at this point. They're just dumb. And also, they are the only way to get Pathfinder in Anima Season right now, if you wanted to, because we don't have any Pathfinder defensive mythics in that season. So you might as well just run Dagger and gain your Pathfinder there. So yeah, this unit's really good, and those are my top 5 picks. We got some pretty good balance here between offense and then what I would consider the best far save armored units. So let me know in the comments section down below what you guys think of all of this, and who are you going to be voting for in A Hero Rises. Very curious to see what you guys are going to be voting for there. And that's all for today. So this is your boy Tacho signing out. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and I will catch y'all again on the flip side.